Hey, everybody. Great to be here with you today on this Integrative Health Coach Success podcast. This is episode 254. If you want the 3 big takeaways as well as all the show notes links, head on over to ihp.coach/254 for all those details. Plus, you'll be able to get all of the back episodes interviews from real life practitioners, how they are succeeding in the field, how they built their business, and much more, what their niche is. Plus, every single on the Monday shows, you'll get all of the actionable how-to real-world success methods in order to build your career. The whole reason we do this show is to help our integrative health practitioners become more successful coaches, but also teach all of this to the industry as a whole. So this was a really great question I got on one of our IHP workshops. And it was a private one that we did. How many certifications should you get? And it was a really interesting question because I looked back on my journey of where I came up in the industry, and I realized how many certifications I got. And then I realized that not all of them were useful, and it may have been taken away from being able to accelerate my career. So I want to share that with you. And then I think by the end of the show, you'll know exactly how many you should get and which ones, which is actually far more important, should you be going after. All right, so how I started my journey was, first of all, I was just trying to figure out my own health. And as I dove into my health in order to improve my autoimmune issues, my weakened immune system, Addison's disease, type 2 diabetes, POTS, myalgic encephalomyelitis, insomnia, allergies, and so much more, I had to learn a lot. So what I realized was I'm already spending the time. I'm already spending the time learning about nutrition, already spending the time learning supplements, already spending the time learning about exercise. So I started to do those things, and I really enjoyed them. I always played sports through grade school and high school, so I always loved athletics. When I got sick, I could no longer compete because my immune system was absolutely trashed. It was destroyed. So I had no energy. I had no mitochondrial energy, especially from all the antibiotics I had taken. And so I couldn't compete anymore. And that was devastating to the ego. And when you're in high school, your ego is pretty strong, right? I think most people, certainly I know mine was, and that was devastating. So I started to just channel those energies or lack thereof into exercise and into other things. And I realized I could transform my body. This is amazing. And I loved it so much that I wanted to share it with people. And probably someone along the way said, hey, you should become a nutritionist. You should become a personal trainer. And that's what I did. Became a certified nutritionist. And then like a couple months later, I became a certified personal trainer. So that's one of the best careers in the world. It really is. And you'll have more success most likely as a personal trainer because it's easier to make an income and because you're seeing your clients 1, 2, or 3 times a week. And then all of those clients need nutrition as well. So first and foremost, I can tell you that I'm like the greatest thing I ever did was become a personal trainer. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. Best thing I ever did was become a personal trainer. It's amazing work. You're not working with people with like debilitating diseases, right? And if you are, you're not trying to cure them with that. And then I obviously got my nutrition. I think that's equally as important because you don't learn that in your personal training. So if you really want what's best for your clients, they need nutrition, right? So like that's a big part of it. We teach nutrition inside of IHP. So I'm going to get to that in a moment. But you don't need to take IHP. I'm just teaching you about adjacents, which I'll talk about now. But after I became a personal trainer, became a nutritionist, every 2 years, you needed to recertify. And the way that you recertified to still become a personal trainer is you needed your CPR up to date, but you also needed CEUs, continuing education units, or CECs, continuing education credits. Same exact thing, right? It's just 2 different acronyms. Or acronyms. So when we look at that, we say, what do you need to do? Okay, we go to seminars, which I did. I would go to I would go to all sorts of ones. I would typically go to like the ones Mike Boyle was doing. Sometimes I would go to Perform Better. I would go to the URSA conventions, all sorts of great conventions. And I loved it. Again, like I still love the field to this day. I oftentimes speak at some of them. And so that's what I did. But then I realized like, oh, well, I have an interest in yoga. So I went and I got a yoga certification. And I got that because I wanted to be able to learn more about stretching and mobility for my clients. And I did. I used that with my clients then. And so they saw me being able to up-level my own game and my own knowledge. But I could use those CECs for my obviously continuing ed. And then I got a Reiki certification. I don't know exactly what led me to Reiki, but I read probably a book on it, got interested, and I did that. And then I used those as CECs. And I would continue to do that. Then I think at 22 years old, because you needed a college degree, or at least you did back in my day, to get my Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, so the CSCS. And now I could work with athletes to a greater degree if I wanted to. So I did that. So everything was kind of within the realm of health and fitness. And the reason why I shared that story, and again, I got about 12 of those certifications. So when I look back, okay, multiple stretching, like PNF certifications, PNF, which stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. I got 3 personal training certifications, NSCA, I got NASM, I got ACE, that was my very first one. And then I got an ACSM membership. So those were basically all of the big personal training. And then I did their advanced studies, the CSCS. I would do anyway, all the different ones within those. And then I branched out more towards flexibility, more in nutrition. I did some yoga. I did the Reiki. And so all of those were of interest to me. I did kettlebell. And every single one of those, the reason why I mentioned this, every single one of those, I could then enhance my clients' programs. So when people ask me what certifications they should get, I ask you this, and this is, I would have asked my 18, 22-year-old self this back in the day. Who do you most want to serve? That's the first question before asking about certifications. Because you need to know what they call your avatar. And you can look back on our previous podcast and we can link up some like avatar. All that means is like, who's your ideal client? That's it. Or who is your most likely client? Because you might want to work with all professional athletes, but as a personal trainer, even Mike Boyle, right? Like back in my day, like trained a lot of athletes. His typical clients were stay-at-home moms and dads, as well. Like that's just, those are his typical clients. And the reason is like when you're doing one-on-ones, athletes, college athletes, they don't a lot of times have the money and they're working with their own athletic trainer. And then professionals, they go to work with their athletic trainer, et cetera. So it's not like you can, but like if you want to make a living, right, realistically, you need to work with like, who do you want to work with? And so that's what I ask you at first. And then from there, you would say, what other things besides like, let's say you're a personal trainer, would your client need from you? Assisted stretching, that was a great one that I did. They want to learn more about weight loss and metabolism. Okay, that's another great thing. They want to learn more about, like maybe an off-day yoga stretching program. Great. Like, so all those make a lot of sense. Then you can get into postural analysis. That's another great one that I did. That's really helpful, helping with your clients with pain and joint pain and again, proper biomechanics and alignment. So those are all really helpful. But then let's move into other niches besides personal training. What if you were a massage therapist? All right, well, maybe you see your clients once a week, every other week, once a month. It's basically saying, what else can I help these same clients with? And it might be teaching them about kinesio taping or taping. It might be providing them with again, a postural analysis-based course or add-on, for them. Or what we recommend, and again, this goes for an acupuncturist, same exact thing, helping them with the adjacents. So think about this. If you're a chiropractor, if you're an acupuncturist, if you're a massage therapist, where you see people once a week, every other week, etc., think about what could you help them else with that may also help with those same issues. So for me, like, okay, massage, like we had massage therapy in my Boston clinic. So what does that mean? Well, people come to you with tight muscles, with neck pain, with lower back pain. Same for chiropractic. What about acupuncture? Same thing, pain or poor sleep or any number of issues. Well, think about the adjacents, like what else could you help them with? And in my opinion, it's nutrition. Like that's a huge part of it, right? And it's also overall lifestyle and health coaching, right? So if they come to you for a particular issue. As a massage therapist, you can mainly help them with the fascia, tight muscles, alignment, etc. Maybe you do a little bit of stretching during your appointments, but it's pretty much based on that unless you start to get more into physical therapy. For acupuncture, yes, you might be able to use some herbs if you're trained in that, no doubt about it, which is great. Some moxibustion, you can use maybe cupping. A lot of acupuncturists do that. And obviously, then there's acupuncture itself and maybe some marmot point therapy, acupressure, et cetera. Okay, so all of that's great. But like if they have parasites, if they have skin issues, like what else could you be doing? And you might be able to do specific protocols, wellness protocols, et cetera, that you could be taught on. So My opinion is this. This is my opinion. I'm going to cut right to the chase. I believe that everyone in the wellness, health, fitness-based industry should have a health coaching certification. I just 100% believe that. Here's why. If there is ever another lockdown, pandemic, et cetera, and if it happened once, why can't it happen again? You need some type of online virtual-based practice as well. You just need that. And you also, if you have a local practice, you want to be able to work internationally, because if you're posting on social media and people are contacting you, but you only have a Boston clinic like I did, yes, some people flew in, there's no doubt about it. You want to be able to have a virtual-based practice. And so those people need your help in a multifaceted area. So if you're a acupuncturist or massage therapist or chiropractor, and you can also help with their nutrition, you could run a food sensitivity test, you could run a gut health test, you could run an inflammation test, then you can very easily do massive add-ons, which is massive value to your client. Every personal trainer should be able to run a food sensitivity test with their client. Why not if you're already talking about nutrition? And what about hormones, like natural hormones? Okay, well, if you want them to get in better shape, you can absolutely boost their hormones naturally or balance their hormones naturally by learning how to run what's called the stress immunometabolism test in these at-home labs. So it's my opinion that everyone in that industry, and I wish I had it way back in the day, should be a certified health coach, and ideally one that can run at-home labs. You can do any certification in the world, and I want to add one more piece of this in just one moment. But I mean, just again, check out what we do at IHP, integrativehealthpractitioner.org. You are just a leg up on everyone else in your industry if you can add health coaching to your pedigree, as well as being able to run at-home labs. There's no doubt about it. And you will never want for clients if that's the case, because think of all the people who want more precision-based wellness. And you can't do precision-based wellness unless you're really looking at their at-home biomarkers. Really important. Again, you can look at biometrics, all those, they're all great. I'm not saying they're not. They're all great. Now, let's say that you are, again, this is like what I look at as like the total package. You're an acupuncturist, massage therapist, you're a yoga instructor, you're a personal trainer, you're something in the health and wellness industry, or a chiropractor, and you also have a health coaching certification and you can run at-home labs. Amazing. Like that's so well-rounded. Okay. Now on top of that, what now would you get for health coaching certification? Because you already, or what would you get for certifications? Because you already have so much. In my opinion, this is when you start to go deeper into your niche, not wider, but deeper. So let's just say like you help women with fertility, right? Like that's your niche. Or you help women over 40 transition through menopause for happy, healthy, strong vitality for years to come. Or you help men over 40, get back their body they always wanted. Or you help children with ASD. Or like, again, it's like whatever your niche is, and then go deep on that. So it may not be other certifications, although it can be, there's no doubt about it. But what you want to do is start to go deeper into courses. You want to go deeper into additional books. I typically recommend a half dozen to a dozen just in your niche. And then after you feel like you've really gotten to the bottom of the well within your niche, that is when you can start to go a little bit wider. But I highly recommend becoming the expert in your space. And that just means first knowing who you're going to serve, becoming well-rounded, get your certifications, know about the labs, and then going deep and maybe even looking at other labs. And then after that, okay, how can I broaden that? And that might be then when you look at your other certifications. So you might look at, if you're already, let's say, like an IHP level 2, so you can run labs and all that, and you're already, let's say, an acupuncturist. Okay, what now may you do? Well, look at what does your avatar need? Let's just say they needed pain relief and they had skin issues. Okay, so now as an acupuncturist, what might else you want to do in your inside private practice? You might want to look then now into more of the anti-aging based modalities. Like as an acupuncturist, do you want to start to look at laser-based therapy for rejuvenating the skin? That might be another certification that you look at. Like that might be really interesting for your practice because they're already looking at you as a health-based expert. So you might be someone that they look at for red light therapy, or they look at you like advanced red light therapy inside of a practice. They might look at you for laser-based skin rejuvenation or microneedling for the face for rejuvenation. So that is how I would say I would look at, what does my client need? How can I better serve them? How may I be able to maybe see them more often to provide more value? And that is what I would start to look at. So it's not necessarily how many certifications can you accumulate, which is more of what I did back in the day. And I don't think that that's the way to do it. I really don't. Now, it gave me a broad array of learning about a lot of different things because I just have a curious mind. So it helped me finally nail down, okay, this is what you want to do. Go back, get your degree in naturopathy, great. But for many people, that's not necessarily the aim. And I don't think it should be actually for most people because you spend a lot of your life doing one particular thing. And there's a lot of politics and licensing and all that. But it's asking yourself over and over, how can I best serve this client? What do they need more of? What would be an easy add-on, not an easy certification, but an easy add-on to my practice that clients would love and also tell other people about? That's how I look at that. I would love to hear from you, though, what other certifications you find interesting. For me, it's the adjacencies as to how I can help my clients. It's really it. If I was a personal trainer, sure, you could become a massage therapist as well. And now you might just do massage therapy on Friday and Saturdays only, like for your practice. Like, again, you can kind of figure these things out. But for me, it's how can I help this client provide the most value? And every client in the wellness-based industry needs proper exercise, proper diet, that's nutrition, and they need proper supplementation, sleep-based protocols, toxin removal. It's the whole de-stress protocol that you can read about in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. And you learn that as a certified IHP health coach. That's why I think it's a great add-on. But if you're already an IHP health coach, listen to this, I recommend going deeper inside of your field, deeper into what would serve your avatar, your ideal client. And then after that, going a little bit wider after that, right? After that, maybe learning about life coaching and those types of things that could be really helpful from a psychological perspective. Hopefully today's show was helpful. This was an IHP listener-based question. Always happy to answer your questions, turn them into full podcasts that can serve hopefully a greater audience. We appreciate you. We thank you so much. Take care. Have an amazing rest of the week.